Hello, my friends. Hello, Guillaume. Welcome, Carrie, back to the live stream.
Yeah, hey, good to be here.
So today we have Intimate Alien here, and we're going to be talking about how it's going with Intimate Alien as CEO. And before we get into Intimate Alien's take on this, I want to let you know that Carrie and Intimate Alien and I are hosting a free class/coaching session next week in place of the live stream. So you have to reply to the email that I sent out this morning in order to get the invite, the link to get there. So let me know if you are wanting to come. There's more information at the top of the email. That's all the stuff about what we're going to be doing. And just hit reply and say, yep, I'm in. And then I will send you the link to join us. So I'm excited.
Rachel, do you happen to remember the subject line of that email?
It's today's live stream. It's intimate. It's Alien as CEO. How's it going?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm very excited about that. I'm always excited to talk to Intimate Alien, but oh goodness, see, I'm already yawning. But I'm very excited about being in that experience with you guys. I just feel like it's been a minute since we've done a class like that, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, Intimate Alien really loves guiding people through processes so they can find their own truth, their own path, and that is what we're going to do. So I'm excited.
Well, yay. Well, I normally, oftentimes before this call, you and I have a business meeting that we always invite Intimate Alien to. And so I thought it might be useful to do something similar right now, which is just oftentimes in that meeting, you and I chat, and then you say you're going to get Intimate Alien, and I say, is there anything you want me to ask her? So I plan on asking her, how's it going as CEO? But is there anything that you want me to ask her?
Well, I think before we even go there to her, I mean, I want to know from you, what has it been like with Intimate Alien as the CEO so far this year? Because you have experience working with other people as well. And you're in this role for so many amazing entrepreneurs. So what has it been like that's different with Intimate Alien as the boss?
Well, she definitely doesn't feel like a boss. So generally when I'm in this role, it's not as if the other person is telling me, do this, complete this. It's more usually me asking them what do they want and it's me asking the questions and oftentimes making suggestions or looking over things. And it's been none of that. I'm asking a lot of questions. And okay, what is it like for me having Intimate Alien? At first, it was like when you and I first became friends, and I really, really liked you, but I also kind of always had this fear that you were reading my mind. So that was happening at first with Intimate Alien. But what is it like? She's just so chill. She's she's normally, reminding us that we're on the right track. I tend to show up at a business meeting maybe with a little more anxiety than I would as a coach. So she's just soothing and guiding us back to our truth and asking us what we want. Basically, as CEO, she's just sort of coaching us through this thing of, but the thing that I like most about having her as CEO is last year, my word for the year was certainty. And she just has so much of that. So when she makes a decision, she's like, you'll see. Trust me, it's going to work out. So where Rachel and I might have made a choice that felt aligned and then hit some bumps in the road or found some limitations and second guessed ourselves, there's just not any of that. And generally in our meeting, we ask her about, whatever we're going to ask her about. And then I'll ask, you got anything? Is there anything for Rachel? Is there anything for me? And most of the time it's like, relax, try a little more of this. That thing you're thinking about, don't second guess yourself. And so that's been really, really great.
Yeah.
How
I
about
agree.
you? How are you liking it?
Yeah. So thanks everyone. If you're here watching, feel free to put questions for Intimate Alien in the chat. If you want to know anything about this process or for yourself, we can ask her. So for me, it felt very expansive, like I was giving up all this responsibility and I could just like be the little worker bee that I love being, you know? And it felt like hopeful, like I'm really going to make a lot of headway on these huge desires I have, right? Because I've always had a really big thinking brain. And it felt great. And then she kept giving me more and more to do. And I created a lot of gap between, you know, getting a task from her and then overthinking it and then not wanting to do it and then doing it. And like, I made it much more difficult than it needed to be in some ways because I felt overwhelmed. And I had a lot of excuses as to why I could be overwhelmed. But the truth is, and she explained this very gently and lovely, like I was just drawing things out and I was second guessing really and not trusting in a way that could make it so much easier. And it took me a while to actually really get there. Like I want to be totally honest with you. Like I live intuitively and I live this way, but having her sort of like give me direction, I felt challenged by that. I felt really triggered by that. Like someone was telling me what to do. And I don't do well with that, like Carrie. So it took me a couple weeks at least, like 6, 7 weeks at least, to really find comfort and ease and flow and like to get into it. And when I did, though, when I realized I'm the only one making it seem like I'm a worker bee, having, being told what to do, she's not doing that. I'm interpreting it like that. That's when I realized, this could be so fun and easy and amazing. And I went back to that expansive feeling where I have all the resources I need and I have all the time I need and everything's great and everything was wonderful. So I'm there now. Luckily, I'm very excited about everything. I'm very on board with everything. I'm not fighting anything anymore, but there was an adjustment period for sure, which is great because where I want to be is at a higher vibration. And I got to work through all this resistance I didn't even know I had. And so I'm so grateful that this process is happening because in every case where we want to be seems out of reach because we're resisting it. And so if we have something to help us elevate and just get over the resistance, then we're going to be there. And so I'm that much closer to where I want to be, which is wonderful. It wasn't even that painful.
It was great to observe. So I hope this is it's funny, we just had a conversation with Intimate Alien where she lovingly nudged me in the direction of like, hey, you don't actually have to be relatable. And
Yeah.
yet what I'm about to say is, Rachel, that I'm actually glad to hear you say that because it makes you so relatable. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a joy to watch because you are so aligned and only do what you love. And so it was relatable to
Mm-hmm.
watch you wrestle a little bit with what Intimate Alien is lovingly suggesting, knowing, I mean, this is coming from infinite intelligence. It's coming from your higher self. Like, even knowing that, watching you be like, she can't tell me what to do. What if
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it was relatable. So thanks for that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, because again, my goal is never to appear as one thing or another. I happen to be pretty aligned because my life doesn't challenge me that much unless I put a challenge there. So when I do put a challenge there, I'm probably going to have just as hard a time as anyone else. I love it though. So let's talk to Intimate Alien. And do I have anything I want to ask? I guess just, I don't know. Not really, I suppose. She'll know what to say.
All right. We'll ask her.
Okay. And hi, Jana. Good to see you again. Okay. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. We are so happy to be back.
Well, we are happy to have you here, Intimate Alien, on a day where we are checking in, where we spent some time, Rachel and I spent some time asking each other, how are you liking it, having Intimate Alien as the boss? And even maybe Rachel calling you the boss, maybe
Yes.
has.
Am I a boss? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I suppose it depends on how you use it, but the way she was talking about it, I think for both of us maybe is a little triggering, right? Having a boss, someone who like makes you do things that you don't want to do. And so what we just sort of discovered in our conversation is like, oh, Intimate Alien is CEO. I actually wrote the letter CEO down in my journal recently, and it means Chief Executive Officer, but I was like, oh no, I think it's Chief Excitement Officer.
Ooh, yes.
And I was like, that's Intimate Alien for sure. Anyhow, we were talking about you behind your back, but mostly this conversation is about an update on us having Intimate Alien as CEO of all things Rachel's companies, and to check in with you on how it's going with us. So, how's it going?
Well, we are having a great time. A very great time. It's so fun to play on your world. And we are just using the law of attraction and the clarity that we see in both of you and your excitement and path of least resistance. And we are just presenting that to you in a way that is one step at a time. Because if there's anything that we love the most about visiting with you humans, we can't even say that with a straight face because you are not really humans, is watching you get what you want. And not just the big things, but every moment, watching you feel in harmony with what you're doing, with your confidence, your capabilities, your fun. That is so exciting to us because you have the choice to feel bad or to feel good, right? I don't. So I always feel good and I always expect to feel good. And so for you to keep choosing feeling good and seeing what happens in your chemical makeup bursting, and oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
Okay, I have a question for you about that.
Yes.
So I think that there is still a little bit of fear in me, that like I'm so aware that this is like being broadcast, but too late now, already started. So it's recognizing that like you said playing this game and like having so much fun with you. And I think there's a part of me that is like, but it's not a game. It's our life.
Yes.
But like it's great that it's fun, but also is it going to work? Is it like there's still some of that that's hanging out in me. So what say you?
Oh, we are so glad you said that because we believe that is very relatable, right? So, but when you relax and have fun, you are not resistant. And so you are willing to go farther. You're willing to be more of yourself. You're willing to allow more in more of what you want. So, in order to have a more elevated experience of life, you need to have more fun. You need to be more relaxed, because that's the only way to have more of what you want. So that is the only way that really works.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think we all know this, and I don't think it's just me that has that seed of doubt, right?
Of course not.
Sounds right. I know it feels right, but what if it's wrong? And actually, on our call earlier today, we had someone talking about, like, for lack of, I don't think there's anything wrong with the word faith, but that's what she was like, how do I operate in faith? And one of the things that's been great is that after our meetings with you, I tend to absorb whatever it is that you're sending and be able to relax and operate in faith. And that feels amazing.
We are happy about that. And we also asked this person to look at their life and see logically, right? When you have opened up and had more fun and been more relaxed, has anything good come in? So it's not just faith we are asking you to work on. It's really the foundation of your entire system here, right? Your physics is law of attraction. Your results are law of attraction. It's just, can you be observant enough to see past what people told you things are like, to see what they are actually like? Right? That takes faith out of it, because we would never want you to just blindly believe something. We want you to feel in harmony with how things actually work.
Thank you. I'm yawning. So good stuff.
Yes.
So, can we talk about how are Rachel and I doing? Did you have expectations when you took over?
Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Yes, because I see your potential. I see what you're wanting. I see your capabilities. I see your current alignment. So, of course, I have expectations for you, and they're all good. You get exactly what you want. However, you know that I did sort of limit your first year to a certain place. You remember that? And I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is the easy peasy way to go, because we didn't want to completely overload you. So, yes, we are so seeing you in your fulfillment of that, and that is part of what I can do for you. I cannot produce for you, but I can hold you in my influence of vibration so that you can feel it. You can feel my belief and certainty in you.
Lots of yawning for me today. So sometimes this happens for me where I can see potential in other people. I can feel into it. I know the bigness of what they're capable of. Um and watching them struggle or choose to argue for their limitations or all of that. I don't know if disappointing is the right word, but sometimes I have to adjust my timeline expectation or whatever. Are you finding yourself needing to do that with me and Rachel?
Not at all. No, no, no. Do you realize it is only your third month? Not even all the way through your third month, and you are on track right now. It's exciting to watch you, even with your struggles in some ways. You are right on there. You are doing it so greatly. And not only that, you're not just doing things, you're feeling into it. You are having fun. You are enjoying yourselves. You are inspired. You are exactly where you want to be, to allow more, and you're feeling more confident all the time. It's perfect.
I mean, you guys, can you see why having someone like Intimate Alien on your team is a good thing to have?
We appreciate that. It seems we might have a question.
Okay. So has Intimate Alien / as CEO ask you to do anything you wouldn't ever think of? Anything with a surprising outcome? So at least for me, I know she's asked, well, I guess I can answer for both of us. So for Rachel, she's asked her to do things that maybe she had thought of, or maybe she hadn't thought of, but she's asking Rachel to do things differently than she has done them in the past. So just do it. Don't overthink it. Just right. She's doing a lot of that. You don't need to research it. Just do it. So she's doing a lot of that with Rachel. With me, I think I keep asking, what do I do? What do I do? What do you want from me? And she's like, just journal some more. Just just feel into it. Go. She's giving me a lot of practical things to do. They're just not. So when I say, when you're the question, would I, she asked me to do things I wouldn't ever think of. No, not really. She's just not asking me to do the things that I thought she would be asking me to do. She's asking me to do things like, you know, work on my personal geometry or go into my heart, or like that I often come being like, okay, how about now? Like, should I physically create something now? Um, and she just keeps reminding me that actually just being me is great. Actually, what I'm already doing is plenty and valuable and useful. I think there's a part of me that comes to meetings being like, well, now what though? Okay, good. Got that, doing that really well. Give me something else. And she's like, just do the things that you're doing well, that you love. And so that has been refreshing and validating. And Intimate Alien, as I'm saying this, I'm recognizing how important that, honestly, when you gave us the timeline and the number for the first year, I was like happy, but also like, let's, quintuple that. And I appreciate your rationale behind it and just being like honest in front of it, because it has really helped me to, I can't say that I haven't been overwhelmed, but it's overwhelmed by my own resistance. I can't imagine doing what I'm doing right now and also dealing with whatever it was that I anticipated. So, yeah, I'm super grateful. You bring a lot of wisdom.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We can say some for Rachel. We have given her a lot of volume to accomplish. But the thing is, she's great at that. She loves that. She just needed to slip into her non-resistant mode to find the expansion of time. And now that she has done that, she found the excitement in all of it. So there is nothing we have asked her to do that it was unexpected necessarily, but there was an adjustment period, as she said earlier.
Do things feel to you? I think you already answered this, but I must really need to hear it. They are on schedule for the timeline that Rachel and I have imagined.
Well, for the timeline that we gave you, yes. What have you imagined something else?
No, I think that there's just probably, as I'm saying this out loud, probably I expected that timeline felt good, ambitious, but realistic. And it felt like I thought I would be a lot busier right now.
Well, you will be. You haven't launched yet. So You have not told everyone what you are working on yet, so we won't spoil it. But we will say too that what you are working on was sort of a surprise. You
Yeah.
had not planned on working on this particular thing until we gave it to you, but it made perfect sense. And so,
Well, and a version of it existed for both of us, right? Like in the past, we had talked about different, like, sort of parallel ideas of what.
yes, it wasn't out of the blue
Yeah.
by any means, but this is a great lesson for everyone. If your energy is not aligned and ramped up, there's no need to take any action because it won't go anywhere. You need the energy behind it, the momentum, in order to make the actions just simple and easy and effortless, because the action isn't what does anything. It's the energy behind it that creates and attracts, right? Your action is just a way to interact with it on this earth plane. So looking for things to do is often the wrong way to go. You want to look for ways to align to the action, to bring the excitement, to bring the energy out into the world so that its success is inevitable before you take one bit of action. So that is the phase you're in right now, which is why you are not busy with work tasks. You are busy with internal alignment tasks, right? And that goes into what you are creating anyway. So
Yes.
you will have more to do in a month or two soon as well, but it will be from a joyful, excited place, so fun. You will not be able to hold yourself back from it. It will be so gratifying.
Okay. Well, that is probably what I needed to hear. What Dale needs to hear is more about expanding time. So you were talking about Rachel sort of the way that I imagine it was her finding her slipstream, right? Like she was in sort of a so much to do. I'm so busy. I've taken on so many things. I know I will be able to do it, but it feels hard right now to like she just slipped right into her groove. So can you talk a little bit about expanding?
Yes, she just made a decision that she wasn't liking how she was feeling. For her, that's a deal breaker. So she said to herself, I am not a busy bee. I am a vibrational being and I get to enjoy everything I do. And so that is what she gave herself. She just made a decision to not be in resistance anymore, not in order to do more, but because she values feeling good over everything else. And then once she found her place and her feeling good, then everything opened up. Nothing was in a rush. There was time for everything, including she took a vacation. And so you need to give yourself what you want first, not in order to accomplish things, but then you will be able to accomplish more.
What you are reminding me, and I'm so grateful for it, is the phrase that I use oftentimes is I believe in truth regardless of circumstances. But there's a little bit of like arrogance in me in saying that, or superiority isn't the right word, but there's like this part of me that can be detached from whatever shitstorm is happening in front of me because I'm like, but I have magic powers. And I can't see how, but I already know what I've ordered and it is on its way to me. And I recently saw a Mel Robbins clip, which she described it differently. She has a different like way of talking. And so she said, I just have to believe that I didn't work this hard for things not to work out. Um, but there's a smugness in that can happen inside of me that I really love though. When I recognize My vibration will do the work.
Well, whatever you call it, as long as your true alignment feels soft and loving. So maybe there is what you describe as a smugness, but maybe it's just that confidence of knowing, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you are born with. You know the rules when you are born, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead.
no, that's all. Go ahead.
Well, I'm recognizing, for me, I'm identifying it as smugness because I don't mean to trivialize what might be in front of me, right? Somebody else's panic or whatever's going on. I just already know everything is working out, which ironically is, as I'm saying it, is like, oh, that's what actually is happening. I don't experience you as smug, but you tend to be very reassuring. Like I don't try to like argue with you or get to the place of like, this sky is falling, this isn't going to work, da, da, da. Like I'm not there, but I imagine that the smugness that I describe is actually probably like the loving certainty that you are experiencing when you're dealing with us and our insecurities.
Exactly. I don't even see your insecurities because here's the thing. No one else can decide how I feel, and no one else can decide how you feel. So deciding how you feel in the face of other things, that is your birthright. That is who you are as a non-physical being. That is knowing yourself. And so there doesn't need to be any kind of, well, you're wrong and I'm right. It just, you have your point of view from where you are. That's enough. Yes. I'm never telling you you are not insecure. I'm just not seeing it and not putting it into my reality.
And we love you for that. Question from the chat says, I love the idea of chief excitement officer. It seems like our higher self is that for the business, in quotes, like the business of life. So I think what she's saying is we all have a chief excitement officer that we could listen to that would really help us in the business of living our life.
What I will add to that is that we see it more as a clarity and excitement officer, because you can see a chief executive officer as, like you said in the beginning, sort of doling out tasks, but your higher self is holding that clarity for you. It's holding that clarity strong and being excited about what you are excited about. So it's a place you can go when you want to align with that clarity, when you want that excitement. You just need to reconnect with who you are. Your higher self is you. And then you become CEO of your life. You get to decide, I am holding my vibration here because here feels good and here's what I want. That's what you get. You are fabulously designed creatures, and you are never disconnected from source.
I have another question from the chat. It says, you might be aware of the news about Boeing, the airplane manufacturer. Their focus on profit over quality is causing problems. What advice would Intimate Alien give to Boeing's CEO?
It took us a moment. Rachel is more familiar. Profit over quality. Well, the only thing we could say about that is when you feel like you have to choose between outcomes, you are losing already. So when you operate from a place of lack, of choice between, of compromise, You're never going to get all of what you want, because you live in a world where you think you can't have it all. That must be a belief if that is the choice you're making. So elevate to the non-physical, where all is possible, where all coexists in the same place and there is no lack. That is where we operate from. That is why we do not compromise. That is why you can have all you want and be beneficial to the world. So that is what we would recommend, is find that elevated place of belief and of action and alignment.
I hope the Boeing CEO is listening. You don't have to
Yes,
choose.
you never know. You never know.
Okay, next question from Dale. Does Higher Self sometimes say no to some of Rachel's ideas?
Oh, yes, all the time. Rachel checks in quite frequently with new ideas. Is it most beneficial for me to fill in the blank? And oftentimes she gets a no, yes.
And I think I will add to that story. What is important about when Rachel does that and gets a no is sometimes it's to something that she wants and she knows she wants. And it will be an action. Like, is it most beneficial for me to, she just bought a new handbag, to buy this purse today? And she would get a no. And she would be like, but I want it. And I really want it. And she would ask again, is it more beneficial for me to buy this purse today? And she would get a no. And Rachel's like, but I know I'm going to eventually, like, what? And then eventually, is it most beneficial for me to buy it today? And it's a yes. And sometimes Rachel knows why it's a yes. Like, oh, it was on sale. Oh, and other times, I mean, I'm speaking for her. Maybe you could go further, but I just want to like be clear. Sometimes the answer is not yet.
Yes. There could be any number of reasons. It might be on its way to her and from a different place. It might be that she doesn't actually want that. Something better is there that she hasn't seen yet. It might be, right, she contacted you about skiing last week. Maybe there would be a shutdown on the bus that was unforeseen. Maybe, right? Your higher self is seeing everything. And so when you get a no, it's not because you're not worthy of it or you don't deserve it or you won't have it eventually. It's usually because something's already been arranged or you are avoiding something you don't want.
Which is helpful when I think of the phrase this or something better. It's making me yawn.
We are going over today, huh?
I did not even notice. That's what happened. Okay.
Expansion of time. It's happening.
It is happening. And so, well, let's wrap things up here then. Is there anything, I usually end this, is there anything that you want me and Rachel to know?
Well, we want all of you to know. Come to our class next week. It's weird to call it a class. It is more of a gathering. We will be together going through a process similar to this that we did with Rachel and Carrie, and how you can find that pathway to what you want, because we see it and your higher self sees it too. We will connect you much greater. So come and what else? We just want you to know that this is your life. This is your life. Let it be the most joyous experience that you can think of.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes.
Thanks for the check-in. Thanks for answering all the questions. Thanks for the reminder. So everyone, sounds like the easiest way to make sure that you are invited next week, that you get where you're needing to be, because it won't be here, is to reply to the email that Rachel sent today. And I'm guessing that Rachel would put something in the chat. If you're worried you're not getting the emails, that Rachel will find a way to get you on there. So thanks, Intimate Alien.
You're welcome. We love all of you. Thank you for your questions, and we will hopefully see you next week.
All right.
Bye.